Hi Aries, welcome to Key Wisdom Tarot. My name is Ruth, I'm your Reiki Master and Tarot Reader, and this, my darlings, is your love story for February into March 2020. This reading really looks for the dates from the 14th, which is Valentine's Day, up to the 16th of March, which is when Mercury finally goes direct again in Pisces. So, my darlings, we're going to look at three distinct areas for you, or look at three distinct questions for you for this month and this time period when it comes to love. And that is, first of all, who or what you could encounter when it comes to love this month. And then the second row is going to look at any hidden feelings that you have that you're not sharing with that person, or vice versa. And then finally, moving forward, where are you two headed, or where are you headed, and what type of things can you expect? Okay, so I've already shuffled, I've already meditated. I'll do a little bit more shuffling on camera, and then we'll get started on your reading. Okay, my darling Aries, there we go. These are your 9 or 10 cards, actually. You get an extra one. And the card at the base of the reading is the Two of Pentacles. So Pentacles energy, where we put our energy and effort in order to manifest security. And the number 2 is about maybe deciding where we want to lay our seed. I don't know why lay our seed came to mind, but that's the word, the words that came to mind. So it could be that we're trying to make a decision, or you're trying to make a decision this month, in this month, Aries, when it comes to love and matters of the heart. Okay, and that could be anything, regardless of what your status is, whether you're single, whether you're married, whether you're in a relationship, whatever your status currently is. This reading will apply to you. So let's have a look at then who or what you could encounter. So what's the beginning of your love story? So who or what you could encounter this month. I mean, obviously we've got Valentine's Day on the 14th when this reading begins. Okay, so we have got some very interesting energy, first of all, with the 5 of Swords. Now, sword energy, and we've got the 8 of Swords here. Sword energy is all about our thoughts and our minds and our consciousness, our awareness, our ability to communicate, and our ability to understand what we feel and not what we feel, what we think, and what's going on in our minds. And this card, number 5, is also about, it also indicates change. It also indicates it's a link to communication as well, speaking our truth. So it's about getting to that truth, if you will, number 5. It's about the destruction of our, sort of set rules and set realities and sort of our set perspective. It's about that being deconstructed and reconstructed by our consciousness. And this is what this card represents here. It represents a change of perspective. It represents a change of mind. You're shifting your idea about something. I had an interesting experience with this energy just on Friday, yesterday, when I was doing a personal reading. And this card actually came out at the base of her reading. And I said, and what happened is basically I couldn't complete the reading because my computer broke, and didn't break, but it stopped recording, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, and I was saying to myself out loud, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so annoyed, I'm so annoyed, I'm so annoyed. And then I was like, and that's what I kept saying to myself. And I was like, actually, I'm really not annoyed. Like, that's universe. Like, if that happens, that happens. It's really not a big deal. And what I realized is that my mind was going back. I was thinking in ways that I used to think. And this is that type of energy. It's about the ways that you used to think changing, the ways that you used to think about somebody, about a relationship, about a situation. That is what needs to change. And that's what you're weighing up in this month and around Valentine's Day. We have the Nine of Pentacles next. I just want to say that we have Mercury in retrograde in Pisces, so we understand and we know that that's a reflective time for us, where we're thinking back, where we're reflecting on things that have happened in the past. And this could suggest that for some people, you are single, for example, and you're thinking about weighing up a relationship or weighing up whether to get back into a relationship. It's about where you've been, how you've thought about yourself, your worthiness, your ability to love, your ability to be in a successful relationship. And it's about that shifting, that changing in some ways, because you're obviously stuck with the Eight of Swords here. You're obviously stuck in a way of thinking, and we'll come back to this in a second. This card here, the Eight of Swords, is really related to us being stuck in a way of thinking, being a cycle of thinking that we are caught in, and that we are almost unaware that we are caught in, like the example, long-winded though it may be, that I gave you. We have this you have this way of thinking about a certain situation when it comes to love. And this month, it's about challenging that. It's about changing that. It's about deconstructing and then reconstructing that. And I say that because number 5 is on the Tree of Life is Gerbera, which I'm really not good at pronouncing these words, but basically that means power. And power is, if you think about power, it's about the energy that we expend to change things, the energy that we go through to change things, or to create things, or to make things stronger, or to make things weaker. That's what power is. And so this is what you're going through this month. You're changing your perceptions, you're changing how you think about a certain situation, how you see yourself, even within your relationship. We've got the Nine of Pentacles here in the centre. And for those of us in a relationship, this is interesting because it's a solitary card in a sense, where we are looking at our own achievements, where we're counting all the things that are good and worthy, and that we've achieved, the security that we've achieved in our life, the achievements that we've gained. We're looking at that with the Nine of Pentacles, and we're considering those things. We are feeling pretty good about ourselves. Now, in a relationship, this could it suggests maybe that some of us, there's a message coming through here about, you being the breadwinner in the family, in the relationship, for example, and your partner not really contributing as much as you. Is that relationship balanced? Do you see it as balanced? Do you think of it as balanced? I think for some people it's about realizing who the breadwinner is in the relationship. It's about realizing how that contributes to your idea or understanding or perspective of the other person that you share your life with, and vice versa. So if you're the person who is you're not the main breadwinner and the other person is the main breadwinner in your relationship, what does that make you think about yourself? How does that limit your ability to maybe have your voice heard, or maybe feeling of appreciation? Are you feeling appreciated even though you're not the main breadwinner? Do you feel appreciated? How does it make you think? Because I think for some people it's about your self-esteem, really, and about how you think about yourself. For those Aries that are single, obviously this is the Nine of Pentacles, is just you feeling good about yourself, recognizing, okay, so if you have been single for some time, this is now you recognizing, I have got this, I have built this, I have created stability. Remember, Pentacles energy is where we put our energy and effort in order to manifest the security that we want and the type of things that we want in our life. So this is you counting all the things that you've done and really questioning now, am I ready to sort of move forward and go into a relationship? And that won't happen until March, but it's definitely something you're starting to think about as Valentine's Day comes around, and of course that's something that we would all naturally think about. Okay, so let's have a look what's going on beneath the surface. Any hidden feelings between your partner, what's going on? Wow. What's going on? This was the first card I actually dealt, the Lovers card, and it's in the middle of the deck, and it's obviously a very significant energy with the Lovers. We've also got the Knight of Swords and the Page of Swords. Now, whenever we see court cards, knights, pages, queens, kings, etc., they all represent change. Aspect of, again, the energy that we put into to change our perspective, to change the way that we speak to people, to change the way that we express ourselves, to create clarity in our mind so we can move forward, which is what the Knight of Swords represents. It's this forward moving momentum. It's having these brain waves and this clarity that you need in order to make progress. It's a masculine energy, with it being the Knight of Swords. So all masculine energies are about the things that we do externally. So it's about, if this is going on beneath the surface, this is you wanting to break. I'll talk to singles first. If this is you, for example, singles in a situation and wanting to break out of that situation, this is you, really feeling like it's you're see, I don't want to say feeling like it's time, because that's not what this is. It's not a card of feeling. It's about your mind. It's about your perspective. It's about your ideas. It's about your awareness. It's about your thoughts. And it's about these thoughts, these ideas that you're having. They are the things that are wanting to move you, and that's a different energy from the excitement that we feel. This is a more sort of calculating approach, i.e., as I said, you've looked around and you've said, these are the things that I want, these are the things that I've got in my life. And it's these ideas, this reflection almost, which is what Mercury retrograde is all about. It's all about reflecting on our previous experiences and how they've impacted on us and what we've learned from them, what we've gained from them. And that's exactly what you're doing. And actually what it shows is that you're, interestingly, there's a tug of war, because we're going in. This is not looking toward love, it's looking away from love. So it's looking back, but this is looking toward love. So it's looking forward, but it's looking in a different direction. So what it maybe suggests is that there's sort of maybe some couples who have broken up and maybe wanting to reconcile, or thinking and purging around the old toxicity of relationships and releasing those sort of energies, the things that sort of pulled you down and dragged you down before. It's about releasing those things, recognizing what hurt you, and but also not what just hurt you, but what you gained. And those of you that follow Key Wisdom Tarot on Instagram, on Facebook, will have seen the post I did about toxic relationships, which was in a response really to a direct comment that I got on one of the videos. And there is a lot of this energy of, there's a lot of people who've ended toxic relationships, and being out of that energy, being out of that space, being out of that situation allows new information to come into your conscious mind. And that's what's happening. That is what's happening in the month of February into March. We also have the Page of Swords as well. Again, change, but also this energy with it being a page is not as mature as this energy. What that means is we're growing, we're maturing. So we're thinking, we're looking for information, we're talking to people, we're trying to find out, we're trying to work things out. And this is what's going on beneath the surface for you. What am I really thinking? What do I really want? Where am I really going? And also looking back and saying, how was this the last 12 months affected our relationship now? How was the last 12 months affected, or that past relationship, how is that affecting me now and what I think about myself? Because this is really about you. What it's looking like is, between this time period, you're really looking to change your perspective on love, how you see yourself in relationships, how you view your previous relationships. You're really trying to shift and trying to change that. We'll look at the Lovers card next, okay? The Lovers card. Now, it's card number 6, first of all. And number 6 is all about, it's linked to our third eye, our sixth chakra, and that's all about our perception and our awareness and our psychic consciousness. So what that means is our wisdom and our understanding everything that happens externally in our external world, the Adam, the divine masculine, your actions, your experiences, everything that happens externally, and the impact of those experiences on us. What we learn because of the external experiences is our divine feminine, and we intuitively, our Adam, our divine masculine, is led into situations, into encounter situations, so that we can gain understanding and gain wisdom from them. The balance of those two exchanges, those two ways of living, those two ways of existing, is the Lovers card, is the balance of your divine masculine and divine feminine, and the coming together of both sides of yourself. And what that means is that ultimately we appreciate, however challenging, however difficult the external, the masculine, the Adam, the situations that we've had outside in the world, however difficult those relationships were, they've given us a sense of love and compassion for myself, because I now realise I won't treat myself that way, or I won't think of myself that way. There's a huge amount of healing in the heart space with this card, what it shows. There's if Aries, you're wanting to date other people, or you're looking into, you're here now because you want to look at another person, well, there's only two signs or elements here. We've got air, so it could be a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or we've got a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. Or it could potentially be an earth sign that you are dating, just because that's above the Lovers card, but obviously your life, and that doesn't really matter. But I just thought I'd mention that for those people that are concerned and looking in that direction. So yeah, there's a huge amount of understanding, which is what this time's about anyway, from the 16th. When Mercury goes retrograde in Pisces, that's what this time's about. It's about us reflecting on how that past relationship, how that past argument, how the past year has affected me as an individual, has affected us as a couple, and you recognising the strength that it's given you, even though it was challenging, but then understanding that it's given you strength, understanding that it's brought about healing, it's brought about compassion for you, for yourself, and potentially for other people as well. Understanding that is what is what's helping to drive you forward, is what helping to move you forward. So I want to look at now what is going on as you move forward. And you've got the first card here, you've got the Knight of Cups, beautiful. So we finally get some water here, this clarifying card here. I don't know what it is, but we'll look at it in a second. So we've got the Knight of Cups, we've got the Temperance energy, which has got two cups. Excellent. So look, we start, as I said to you, we might not, this is what we're thinking in February. This is what you're thinking in February, but come March, I said to you, didn't I? Come March, come that first 2 weeks of March, and especially after the first 2 weeks of March, when Mercury does go direct again, so on the 16th. But definitely when we get into March, this is what we are doing. We are feeling, we are joyful, we are more connected to compassion for ourselves and for other people. We're more connected in a loving way. We've stopped doing this sort of weighing up. This is what's going to sort of slow you down. But again, it's all about shifting your perspective. It's all about shifting your awareness. About, okay, that happened in the past, but now I'm here. That happened in the past, but what did it teach me? That's what February seems to be about for you, or the last 2 weeks of February seem to be about for you. But as you enter March, clearly there's movement when it comes to love, okay? So there's real effort on your part to try to change your perspective, and to try to gain wisdom and understanding and strength from some of the challenging relationships and situations that you've been in. So we start off with the Knight of Cups. So again, this is masculine. Again, we're talking change, because we've got these court cards again, but this is about when it comes to love. So it's actions in love, it's masculine, so it's actions that we take, and it's all to do with love. So this is you taking loving actions, or someone taking loving actions towards you. This could relate to, it's everything to do with our heart space and how we love, and how we communicate that love with ourselves and with other people, i.e. compassion, i.e. healing, i.e. intuition, i.e. dreams, i.e. wishes, i.e. desires. All these things are sort of held in this cup and sort of represented by the cups energy. So we've got the Knight of Cups there, so that's showing and suggesting action in love. So either you're definitely moving forward. You're definitely moving forward in a very measured way, but you're definitely moving forward toward your Ten of Cups, toward establishing this type of relationship in your current relationship, or establishing this type of relationship, ultimately, you know, looking for this type of love. If you're single, that's exactly where you're going. And remember, and look now, this is where we're going in this direction, okay, toward the Two of Cups held by Temperance energy, and toward our ultimate joy and abundance, emotional abundance and love and compassion with the Ten of Cups here. So the Knight of Cups came out with a clarifying card, and that card might, well, what a beautiful reading. See, where are we going? So this is what's going on moving forward. I told you you're moving towards your Two of Cups, and literally that's exactly what you're doing. You know, twos are about commitments, they're about partnerships, they're about duality, they're about agreement. So it's almost as if we feel one cup feels the same as the other, one person feels the same as the other, you know. So there's no more of this, you know, if for those people we're trying to get back together with somebody, or for those people that are you know, we're trying to get back together, or weighing up whether you should take this person back, or weighing up, right, okay, now it's time for me to forgive him, you know, we're still in a relationship, I need to forgive him and move forward, or forgive her and move forward, or maybe, you know, I've been single, I've been hurt, but now it's time for me to move forward. This is the type of energy that's available to you to work with, Aries. So if you've been trying to get over someone, if you've been trying to forgive somebody, if you've been trying to move on from a difficult relationship, this is the time to do it. Mercury goes retrograde on the 16th of February. This is in Pisces, all about feelings, all about emotions. The moon card, that's Pisces. This is the time to do it. So now I want you, because look what's here. If you've been trying to release the toxicity of a previous relationship, if you've been trying to have more compassion for yourself, have more love for yourself, Aries, this is the time to do it right now in February. Don't wait, because look at where you're going toward. Look at what you're moving toward. Look at what you're moving toward in March, okay? So go for it, because you're moving toward this love, and not only love, but healing. This is the card of mindfulness. I call this card the Temperance card. The card of mindfulness is another number 5, 1, 4, 14. It's number 5. So obviously it indicates change. It indicates movement though. Remember what I said to you about with number 5, it's related to power on the tree of life. So this is why we talk about it as being changes, because it's about shifting things, changing things, moving from one energy to another, because of what we learn, because of our how our awareness changes, because of how our understanding and perspective change. This is Temperance, and so it can feel sluggish sometimes, Temperance, because we want to move forward, we want to go forward, we want to go ahead, but we're asked to be mindful of how we are emotionally, psychically, intuitively responding to the action that we're thinking about taking. This is that energy of being mindful of how we respond, because it's like we're no longer stuck thinking about, oh, it's like, I'm only worth this type of relationship, I'm only worth this type of respect, I'm only, no. We're out of this. You need to get out of this way of thinking, and you do, and you will in February. And so when it's time for you to move forward, you are a lot more consciously engaged with, and emotionally engaged, both consciously and emotionally engaged with what you're doing and why, because what you're doing and why is leading you toward where you want to go, where we all want to be. 10 of Cups. You know, joyful abundance. I mean, look, we've got the family there playing under the rainbow, so it's wishes, and our wishes being fulfilled and our joys being fulfilled. But the Cups energy is about, it's from within, isn't it? It's what's inside you. So it's about finding the thing that makes you happy. And that is recognizing your strength, recognizing your healing, recognizing the significance of your experiences, and that they've shown you how strong you are, that they've shown you how worthy you are. That's what we need to achieve. That is where you're going. So use this energy, Aries, in the month of February and in the month of March. Use the energy to actually really start to understand how the previous year affected you as a couple, and how you want to move forward. That's what February is for. Or use this time to understand how the ex-partner who now wants to get back with you treated you, how it made you feel, but how you responded, and etc. Use that energy, because you are moving very clearly toward your 10 of Cups and toward your 2 of Cups, my darlings. Okay, Aries, I hope you like that reading. Do not forget to check out your Sun, Moon and Stars reading, which has already been uploaded and published, and people are loving them, so thank you for those people who watch them. Check out your moon sign, check out your rising sign, check out the person that you're dating or wanting to date or married to, etc. Because these readings are quite detailed and give you quite a lot of information. I'll be back very soon, my lovelies, with your brand new sun, moon and stars reading, which will take you right the way up to the first week of April, which I can't believe I'm talking about April and it's still in the February, but we are moving through this year. We're moving through this year, okay? So enjoy it. As I said, follow Keeping Some Tarot on Instagram and Facebook. Do all the stuff, like, share, subscribe, etc., etc. I will see you all. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day and happy. Well, it's not Aries, is it? Who's in 29th? It's leap year, isn't it? 29th of February. We actually get one this year. So enjoy your February, my darlings, and I'll see you all again very soon with your brand new readings. Take care, my darlings. Bye.